and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is Our Take. We are your host. I'm Ocean.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Connor.
And ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be giving you guys our take on 20th Century Studios' newest production. Came out on September 29th. I know we're a little late on this one. I apologize for that. But we still wanted to get you guys our take on it. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk to you guys today about The Creator. This film, like I said, came out on the 29th, so we're a little late. But we did a trailer reaction to it. I think we were both kind of excited about it. Looking forward to it. Connor, now that he's home, is going to hop in on with us.
I got to see this one with Taylor in the theater.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was one of the first things you did when you got home.
Yep.
Sick. So, traditional fashion as always, ladies and gentlemen. Spoiler-free content first. Scores. Spoilers. All right. So, Connor, what were your thoughts, spoiler-free, on The Creator?
Personally, I love this movie. There were some things that I didn't like, but overall, at the end of the movie, I just there was a whole, I don't know, like 5 minutes that we just kind of sat in silence, and like everybody in the theater was like completely silent and just sitting there.
After the movie?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Like after the credits and everything?
No, just like right after the movie ended, like there was no sound. Nobody moved. It was just like,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
This was also, I do want to say, just the first time that Connor got to watch this or something in ScreenX.
Oh,
yeah.
You did see it in ScreenX. Oh, that'll be interesting to talk about the differences.
Yeah, and
interesting.
I could see why this movie's not, for some people, but I thought this movie was a really good, like, breath of fresh air. Of like, it's just a very, like, the story itself is not anything like super special. I think, it's like there have been different iterations of kind of the same thing, but the world building and the universe in general, I just really enjoyed, and I really like it. For me, I know when a movie's good for me because I'm having fun. Yeah. While at the same time, I'm pulled into it to where my brain is like I'm not being pulled out of it. I'm not like just constantly thinking of something else or like completely distracted by my own brain, And I was like fully into the movie the whole time it was going, and that was for me, that's good because that's what I want, and it did an amazing job at that, and I don't know, it's hard to talk about without talking about specific things or like.
No, you're good. I mean that makes sense. I mean it was a good movie. You enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Never broke the immersion for you.
Yeah, it was.
And that 5 minutes of silence after the movie is interesting. I'm interested to dive a little deeper on that. What about you, Taylor? Because you guys both saw it in the same theater at the same time, right?
Yeah, we got to watch this together as soon as he got back.
Was that 5 minutes of silence as profound for you as it was for him?
It was noticeable. It's not quite like the level of like some other movies where it was just like
deafening silence.
Yeah, like really, really silent. But it was very quiet, and like everybody was just kind of like sitting there for a little while.
Was it a silence of like people trying to process what they just saw, or people like trying to deal with the emotions that they were left with after the end of the movie, or what do you think it was?
It's probably a combination of the two.
Okay.
I'm sure there are certain things in this that are more emotional to some people than they are to others.
Sure.
This movie does cover like a fairly wide range of like different things, like psychologically and
right.
It makes you think about like society and stuff and like certain ways and aspects like that.
For me, the silence was definitely like emotional. Like you said, it was a good mix of both. It was emotional, and it was like I was processing like, holy shit, this movie is crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I don't know if was that how it was for you.
What?
The silence, like. Were you thinking about it, or was it just you were just kind of like, oh, it's weird that it's like,
why is everybody quiet?
Yeah, were you like,
no, I mean, I don't. It doesn't ever bother me or anything. So I'm not like, oh, why is everybody quiet or anything. But for me myself, I was kind of like sitting there like, just like, oh wow, like that was a nice like it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. There's definitely some things on it that I wasn't a fan of, and I think could have benefited for if they had changed it. But overall, like I enjoyed it a lot, and I kind of agree that like I don't know. I feel like recently I've been seeing a whole bunch of garbage movies that have been coming out. That this one came out and I enjoyed it. All like the world building to me is outstanding in this movie.
Yeah.
Which I know some people don't care about, but I do. And I would love for this to be developed further, and whether it be a sequel or even like a spin-off with like even with like a game or an animated series.
Oh my god, yeah. The entire time I was watching this movie, I was like, this could be a fucking amazing game.
Yeah. I think it would have the story would have to get tweaked a little bit, which is totally fine. But I like the acting I thought was really good overall. Really good CG and special effects. But yeah, I mean that's all I got until we.
I did not watch this in Screen X, and there was not a deafening silence after the movie ended for me, for my particular experience. And I'm not gonna say here and be like, oh, I'm the polar opposite of you guys, because I definitely enjoyed the movie and I liked it, but it wasn't as amazing as it was for you guys. There are definitely some small issues that I have with it. And there's some formulaic parts to the movie that I just didn't really care for. But overall, I still enjoyed the movie. And it made me think about a lot of things. And I actually liked the direction that they took with the story for the most part. And I do agree that as far as world building goes, this was phenomenal. It was really good at building the world that it took place in. And I was trying to explain this to my father the other day, I didn't feel like I was watching My Earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was watching a completely different version of Earth. Whereas a lot of movies try to bridge that gap, try to make you feel like you're watching your Earth but slightly different. This one felt like I was watching a completely different planet. Like it might as well not have been Earth. You know what I mean? Like it might as well have just been a completely different planet. And I like that because it is, like you had said, Connor, it is refreshing. It's refreshing to see something a little bit different than what we've been seeing a lot of lately. And this movie, to be honest, kind of popped up out of nowhere. Like for me, like when the first trailer came out, I had no idea anything about this movie. And then when it popped up, it kind of seemed like a smaller budget indie film kind of vibe. It didn't really feel like a major studio production vibe. And so for them to deliver like they did, I think it was pretty solid. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested to have some questions. I have some things that I want to point out and see how you guys feel about it. But before we do that, we got to do two things, because the first one I forgot in the beginning. I apologize. But let's run through the cast real quick. There's definitely some notable names in here, and we're gonna talk about them. Actually, you know what? Pause that. We're gonna hold that. We're just gonna roll right into scores. Let's get into scores. 1 through 10. Connor, what is your score for The Creator?
I'm gonna give this a 9.
Oh, okay, solid 9. Taylor?
I'm gonna give this an 8.
8? Okay. Shit. This is another one that I think deserves a decimal place, but I'm gonna go 7. There's just a few things that kind of brought it down for me, but yeah, I'll go 7. Still super solid. Still probably will watch this again at some point in my life. It's definitely one of those movies that, like, if I'm craving something futuristic-y or like a little bit different, this is probably a movie that I'd be willing to watch. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're craving a spin on Terminator.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's definitely basically Skynet.
Yeah, if you like, if you just like sci-fi, cybernetics,
any AI kind of thing.
Yeah,
well,
cyberpunky kind of stuff.
This movie cyberpunk.
To that, would you guys recommend? Like, is this a movie that needs to be seen in the theater, or could you wait for a streaming service?
I recommend.
I would recommend this in the theater.
Yeah.
Big screen, big sound.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because I do want to say that
I felt the bombs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Nomad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Being Screen X, you know shit's about to go down because it'll like the music will start ramping up and you'll get the super
The
wide
wide
shots,
view. Yeah.
and it makes the
Oh yeah.
action sequences so good.
The beginning of the movie. Oh my god.
Yeah,
We
right
both
off
looked
the
at each other
rip,
and I was
this
like,
movie
"Holy
starts off
shit,
with
dude."
a super cool scene.
Yeah, I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I still have not seen anything at Screen X yet. So
Yeah,
should go
we're
watch
gonna
it.
do that soon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll have to look for a movie to see for Screen X. Okay. So you guys got our scores. You got our spoiler-free thoughts. I know I didn't give you guys the cast list, but we're gonna do that right after the spoiler alert. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna serve as your official.
spoiler alert.
Okay. So to start off in the spoilers, I do want to run through the cast real quick. So Taylor, take it away and run me through the creators cast.
Sorry, stand by.
You're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired. Connor, run me through. No, I'm kidding.
Stand
All
by.
right, so we got
You're fired.
I don't know if it's Gemma or Gemma
Gemma.
Chan
Gemma
plays Maya. The star, of course, John David Washington, who plays Joshua. The always amazing Ken Watanabe
Oh, yeah.
as Harun. We also got Amar Chadha Patel or something. Sorry, he's one of the main like henchmen simulants.
Mhm.
And
What's the
We
name
also
of the kid? The child simulant? That's
Madeline Yuna Voiles plays Alfie, and then the main agent lady is Allison Janney as Colonel Howell,
Okay.
and
It says Danny McBride is in this movie. What?
No, he's
I did not see Danny
definitely not.
McBride in this movie.
He probably voiced.
Oh,
If he was in the movie, he probably just voiced one of the faceless like robots or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the ones that have like.
Oh,
the weird
he
mouths.
was. I think he was. Yeah, I think he was the faceless robot that was with Ken Watanabe. Was that him?
The
I'm
one with
not
like
sure.
the 4 eyes, the red eyes or whatever.
Yeah, that he like he was like running away from the
Oh,
tank
yeah.
bombs, and then he
Yeah.
saw the family, so he ran the other
Oh.
way and then just ate one of the bombs.
Could
Yeah.
be. Could be.
That might have been him. I could be wrong though. Okay, yeah. So that's your cast list, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll start off with something that it might be a little controversial, and I think it's probably one of the biggest reasons why my score is lower. I didn't care for John David Washington as the lead in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't. I just thought he was average, and while it doesn't like hurt it, I guess, but when you have a sci-fi like this, I think having a really strong male lead or really strong lead actor is important, and I just didn't get that from him. I feel like there are a lot of other actors that could have done the same exact thing that he did. So
Yeah, I could see that. The aspects that I'm not a big fan of are actually related to his character. It's not a issue with him as an actor though. It's just how his character is written in the story.
okay,
That might, if it was different how I would rather them do
Yeah.
it, that might make it better for him, at least
Possibly.
particularly.
what are some of those things that you would have changed about his character?
So his main like arc for his character is the like depression and regret of like what he initially perceives as loss of his wife.
Yeah,
And this is a very strong emotional point for his character, and I do think it's good, but they over rely on that throughout the entire story of this movie.
yeah,
And the middle section drags really hard for him specifically as a
Yeah.
character because of that. Like it's fine in the beginning because it's setting up the story, and then it's fine in the end to get the conclusion, but the middle section gets really bogged down by it.
I agree.
Yeah, his whole purpose is.
So if they had
is
changed
his
it
wife.
in the middle, I think it would make him more flushed out overall.
What they needed, in my opinion, was a specific moment where he realized that this child, Alfie, embodied everything, or this child, Alfie, was the opportunity for him to make up for the mistakes that he made with his wife. Like that's what we
Well, I
we
think
needed.
he did have that moment
It just
at the end.
it
but
comes
that's at
in the
though.
end.
That's
right.
what I mean. It's like we needed that in the middle because then that would have fostered his desire to protect the AI, to go destroy Nomad, and then we circle back to the fact that like, oh, now we find out that Maya was the whatever his name was the whole time, and now we get to see her at the end. Like I think that's what that middle change of motivation would have been or should have been in order to help push his character forward.
Yeah. So because of that, he kind of just like drags on in the middle, and it really hampers his character, which because he's like the star, it leaves you wanting so much by the end. And then like it's fine, like when it comes together in the end, like it's fine. But at least for me, that's the biggest reason why this movie wasn't, at least to me, quite as good as it could have been. But I just still think it was really good.
I agree. I think that a better main character would have pushed this movie to a 9 or 10 for me.
Yeah. I also want to say too, John David Washington, like, I know you're the son, but there are so many moments when I was like, bro, that's Denzel.
Yeah. I think it's actually a hindrance for him. I think it's a negative thing for him, like as an actor, because now like you're not separating him from his dad. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't have that problem. Like, I know it's not Denzel, so I'm not like, oh, this is not what Denzel would do. But I mean, I could see that as being an issue for somebody, but that's not for me. That's just, I thought it was interesting that like, I know again, like they're obviously related, but like just because somebody's related, it doesn't mean you can, really replicate your family member that well. And it's not intentional, I'm sure. It's just there's like a few scenes when he's talking and I was like, whoa, that really just sounds like Denzel.
Yeah. Somebody I will say from the cast list that I think exceeded my expectations for sure was Alfie, the young simulant. Was her name Madeline Una Voiles? I think she did really well. I really enjoyed her character. And I was worried that she was going to be this super whiny, annoying, like little girl in the beginning that like just was just annoying and didn't like develop very much and was just a like plot device in order to further the story.
Yeah.
But I think she was actually a really well developed character that by the end, the emotions that she was portraying, I felt, which is, in my opinion, really hard for a child actor to do. Like when a child actor is able to successfully extract emotions out of adults, it's a very impressive thing to do.
Yeah.
So that scene when the escape pod door closes and she's like crying at the top of her lungs out that that Joshua isn't coming with her, like I felt that emotion from her, and that was super impressive for me.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think she did a really good job.
Yeah, she's that's a theme for me in this movie that she represents as an actor and a character in the story. That there are many things that are presented in this film that they purposely portray the opposite of what they normally would be. So as a child, there are many moments where she has that like innocent, like whimsical nature as a kid, and then she can flip real quick and become this very like wise, like I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but
like mature, just
mature individual that can like actually understand like all these complicated things that even as adults sometimes it's confusing for us. And same thing with like humans. They can be just like real life. Humans are very, we're complicated like creatures, and like we're very destructful, very like evil at times, but we can also be like very creative and loving and stuff. And that happens a lot throughout this movie. And the same thing with the robots in this movie. They can be portrayed as being extremely violent and powerful, but at the same time, there's some scenes later on in the film where you'll see that they're at the current time, like complete opposite of the humans, where they're even more loving for humans than some other humans, because we're just terrible
We're a
species.
fucked up species.
And
It's very impressive how they could.
it's intentional to like cause you to like understand and feel for this like rebellious force throughout the movie
For a machine.
right, for robots, because initially you're thinking like, oh,
Just
most of the time you're like, fuck the machines, like
Yeah.
we want to destroy them, because you're thinking like Terminator.
Right.
But this movie, it's like, oh, but they're not all bad, and maybe the people in this one are actually
Come
the
with
bad
me
ones.
if you want to live.
Yeah.
Right.
It was very impressive how they could make the machines very human and and even more human than the actual humans. You know what I mean?
At times.
The juxtaposition between the evil humans and the good robots was really interesting to see, and it's not something that we've never seen before. I mean, it's
not.
But the execution of it,
Right. The way they present in this movie
was really cool.
really
That's so good.
And I want to roll right into the like kind of world building aspect / props, visuals, and all that stuff, because I think that this is one of the best visual representations of what the future could look like that I've seen in a while. I really like a lot of the things that I saw, and I really like how everything was really meshed well together and actually looked futuristic, and didn't just look like they took some like modern day things and slapped some stickers on it and made it look futuristic. Like we talked about in the trailer reaction, the guns. Now there were some AK-47s out there and some like RPK.
Everybody adopted
I mean,
the
they're stylized. They're
But
not just little rips.
There
but,
were also a lot of weapons that were definitely not based off of like almost anything. Like they were
I mean,
just-
they resemble like relatively common like sci-fi based weapons from other things that are also sci-fi.
right.
And to add to the fact that like it did have a lot of AK variant type things, it makes the most sense to me. Not only because this is like a rebellion in this kind of case with the simulants and stuff, but
because
you're fighting
AKs are
robots.
probably-
So you want a larger caliber weapon, and you ain't doing a whole lot with an M4. So
I was just thinking that like AKs are gonna outlast everything else.
I mean that is true too. You're not wrong about that.
So
but
that's just
the
all
most
that's
common
left.
AR
but-
platform.
right, but just having a larger caliber, it's a lot more like
Stopping power and whatnot.
yeah, it's easily accessible around the
I want to
world.
say the fucking I don't even know what to call it. I guess the I fucking blanked. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
The
What are
like
you talking about?
the not only the weapons but like the
Set design and stuff?
no. The set design's amazing, but just the logistics of their like military apparatus I thought was fucking awesome. I loved this movie because it reminded me a lot of watching like an 80s movie spliced in with this like new refreshing thing. I can't really describe it, but it's like I was watching Aliens and like the oh my god, I can't believe I forgot the actor's name.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit! Who's the guy who plays Robin Williams? The Robin Williams AI movie where he's like an AI robot, but he's like very loving. Have you guys seen it? Centennial Man.
Oh, yeah.
Bicentennial Man.
Yeah.
It was so strange, but it was like really fucking refreshing for me because I was like, at the beginning of the movie, I was like, this is fucking aliens. Like, this is like, they have the fucking get up, they're getting in the drop ship. Like, I was like, this is fucking awesome. And, they have the fucking Nomad up in this, like, all this shit. I was like, okay, this is like exactly how I would picture like a future, like, united, like, like America has united the entire like Western hemisphere of the Earth.
Well, that
like,
is.
I told Taylor, as soon as the fucking giant tank showed up and it had
USR.
I was like, oh, of course, dude.
America.
Yeah, I was like, there is absolutely 100% chance that would be real.
Well, see, that's the cool thing, right? So that this movie does like a really excellent job of like interpreting like a very probably realistic point of view for a foreign nation being I mean, in this case, being oppressed, but like just being in the presence of the United States in real life.
It was so because that moment
Because
right there.
well, just think about it, right? So we got like, Nomad is like their pinnacle fucking weapon. It's just looming over them at all times. They can do nothing about it.
Yeah, it's like
that's probably what it feels like if you were in a foreign nation where we are there, and you just see U.S. fucking Air Force hovering over you at all times, like a drone or a fucking AC-130. There's nothing you can do. If they want to delete you, you're gone.
Yeah.
And then it's the same thing with the U.S. Army, and it comes with a gigantic tank, dude. It looked insane,
that thing
and it was
amazing.
Hilarious just because of the like the fact that you saw the.
I was
US
laughing
Army.
so fucking.
But that's
hard
probably
when
what
that
it's
came out.
like too. Like if you were about to get invaded and you're just chilling there, and you see a fucking Abrams rolling up, you're like, oh. Well, shit. That's probably what it feels like.
Yeah, that tank was fucking obnoxious, dude. I was like, that thing is destroying anything.
Okay.
The only thing I was confused. Is like, all right, it's really cool, but it's like, one, how did you get it there? Two, what is that for, bro? Who are you fighting? Godzilla?
Dude, that thing was awesome. I'm pretty sure they just dropped it from orbit from the fucking overhead.
Probably.
Like,
I mean,
drop it. Boom.
That's new airborne with a fucking massive tank.
Yeah, that's what I fucking love about this movie,
ODST.
though. It was because it brought me back to like the 80s, like red-blooded American 80s. Like you got the fucking futuristic Marines. Just like every time I saw the Nomad, I was just like, yeah, just nuke it from orbit. You're just like, you know, what I mean? Just like, fuck this, get out of there, just nuke it from orbit. Like they literally were like, oh, we're not doing good, just get out of there, nuke it from orbit. And they just
pull out. We got it.
I actually really liked the Nomad thing because when I watched the trailer, and this is one of my favorite things about this movie, it completely flipped me on my expectations. Because when I watched the trailer, I was expecting that Nomad thing to be AI. I was expecting that the AI had the upper hand. And that we were trying to survive against a more powerful species like AI. Where in reality, this movie was all about the fact that we had AI tried to fuck us with a nuke. And then we were like, no.
Hold up.
I'm the captain now, motherfucker.
He said, excuse me, we're declaring war on all of you, and we're building a giant orbital fucking ship that's going to
We're about to eliminate you with prejudice.
Yeah. And it turns out... no. Spoiler. Turns out that the fucking AI didn't even... they weren't the ones that nuked the...
Well,
it was bad programming.
I'll say I don't want to hold that to be super true because that's just something that's not further explained in this
movie. There's no hard evidence.
But I would be okay with it being explained later, like actually.
Yeah, like down the road in something else.
But yes, they do state in the movie from the simulant side that it was an accident.
Yeah. It was a programming error.
But I'm willing to bet that that is not the case, mostly because that's kind of like ridiculous.
Honestly, it probably was some fucking asshole human that wanted to fucking get shit started.
Realistically, that's probably what
and gave the
happen.
AI a command that ended up launching a nuke. Like that's probably what happened.
Right.
So I really liked that. I really liked that when I walked in there, I was expecting one thing, and then this movie was like, no, it's actually this, and I was like, oh shit, okay, this is a different aspect being explored in the sense that like human beings are the oppressors, and there's this other species of sentient life.
Yeah, it really it cements that we are the top of the food chain. You know what I mean? Like that. You know, even now,
as long as we have giant tanks.
Yeah, even now and in the future, we are the top of the food chain, and even fighting against a sentient machine. You know what I mean? It's like the might of the human human ingenuity is like awe-inspiring. You know what I mean?
Seemingly sentient, because I think that's a interesting concept that they purposely avoid like going too much in the detail, but you kind of just like if you go along with the movie and you just accept that they are sentient, it fits the story.
Because it's not
but if
like
you really think about it, it's like they're not really sentient if we design them to be that way. It's not true like creation,
Autonomous.
like the idea of sentient beings are. It's just we designed them so well and so advanced that they began to replicate us in a way.
yeah.
But I'm sure there's a certain limit to it. But in this world, they don't get into that because it's not relevant
I
to
think
the story.
I
But
think
it's just a cool idea.
This
though.
AI specifically is very interesting for the fact that they are all individuals. They're not.
It's not a hive mind.
It's not
Right.
Skynet. It's not like they're all they're not one sentient being. It's just they're all individually.
It's also really interesting to see that there's two different versions, right? There's the full on robot ones, and then there's the simulants.
Yeah,
and it's
like the older models are still, sentient, and they still think of themselves as human, even though they have no human face or, all
likeness
that.
or anything.
Any of that kind of stuff, like the simulants do. Which I thought, I agree. I think that was really cool, and I really liked that even though they like the robots that didn't have the simulant,
face,
design,
face or features or they still felt human. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was like they were raising children and like parents and
I mean, even like the scene that you were talking about earlier, where the village comes under attack and one of the robots gets targeted by Nomad, and he's running because he wants to, obviously survive, and he sees his family essentially under, or I guess it's a friend family.
Yeah, I don't think it's family, but
a bunch of
just
humans.
people.
But his friends that he knew, because I think he was friends with a kid, and he saw them and he was about to run towards them for cover, but he was like, just stay back. And then he stood back because the kid was like trying to run after him because he didn't want, the robot to die. But it's like, it's all right. Like, I'll be fine. And it just gets fucking deleted.
Yeah. This movie, it's very difficult for movies to make me like physically cry. But by the end of this movie, I was physically crying.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, I cried because I was like, this movie got me a lot in like emotional places where I was just like, I really liked by the end of the movie the relationship between the main character
Josh and
Joshua,
Alfie.
and Alfie.
Oh yeah.
And it like engrossed me in, I don't really know how to describe it, but being a like unknown father to then being like having to let your kid go,
Mm.
And I guess that's kind of what was, I don't know if it was planned by the wife all along, but like it seemed like she kind of knew that was going to happen at the end, I guess.
Mm. Well, okay, so here's where my like issues with the movie start coming into play, because up until this point, like up until now, like everything was super awesome. Love the world building, like most of the characters. John David Washington to me was just average, but it didn't necessarily hurt the movie, I'd say. The biggest issue that I have with this movie is that I just cannot believe that Maya was the what is the name of the creator that they had? Nirmata.
Yeah, it's just
that Maya was Nirmata, and that Joshua was a double agent working for the human side, and that they were so in love, and he loved her so much, and they had such a deep connection that after she died, it prompted the whole events of this movie. But while they were alive, neither of them had any idea that the other person was essentially fake the whole time. And that's just completely unbelievable to me. And because of that, it starts to break down the efficacy of the motivations and emotions of certain things, right? Like, if he really loved her that much, like to the point that now at this point he's like fucking I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I can to find her again. Like fuck everybody else. I'm gonna kill everyone trying to look for her. Like that. That's it's just not believable for me that he loved her that much. Or if he did, how did you not know that like she's this fucking like creator person that is responsible for all these AI and stuff, and then vice versa too.
Well,
like,
she's not responsible for the AI.
Her father was.
Right, but she took
simply
over
just
the-
inherited
Yeah.
like
she took over the like design and
Well, she took over the namesake, but she didn't. The only significant thing that she did after her father was creating the child.
yeah. She
Right.
didn't
do
make
anything
any
else
of the other
besides that.
AI and stuff.
but I still I just don't buy it. I don't buy that you can live a double life like that. I just don't like to that extent. It's just not. It's not believable for me for both of them. Like it's not believable for me that she could live that kind of double life and him. I know we have like spy agents and shit, but there's a reason why the trope of double or of like undercover agents falling for somebody or falling too deep or going what's it called, going native.
Yeah.
That's the expression.
That's
right?
what they said in this. Yeah,
Yeah, going native is
going rogue is what.
yeah, but there's a reason why that's such a consistent and present stereotype because that's just what happens. Like when you intertwine your emotions like that, you're just not capable of separating them. So that because of that, it just kind of pulled me out of things. And then when we find like at the end when it was revealed that Maya was Nirmata the whole time, I was just like, all right, come on, like couldn't like have some other kind of outcome. In the end, like after everything happened, I like it. The frustration or whatever lessened for sure because I actually really liked the way that they ended everything, like tied it all together. I was worried that Joshua was gonna survive the whole ordeal.
Oh no, he's definitely dead.
Well, I mean,
That shit fucking
Yeah.
exploded.
if he's not dead, then that's a different problem in and of itself. But
I think that's what made it. That's what made it so emotional. It's
no,
just-
but that's what I mean. It's like the way that they wrapped
it was
everything
so
up.
emotionally charged by the end of it that like I couldn't help but cry. It was
Sure.
like, it moved
Yeah.
me to tears.
I mean,
because it was-
the seeing him,
the acting was so good from the child and
watching him find Maya again
yeah.
at the end, you know, like because in the movie they have this ability to like once somebody dies, that you have ability to like pull their consciousness. I guess
well,
we'll
they
call
can
it.
basically like record the synapse firing in your brain from the last.
But it's like you're essentially like just transferring consciousness into another being.
Yeah,
It
for
doesn't last
a
forever.
limited time.
It's very short.
Yeah, it doesn't last forever, and the longer that somebody's dead, the less time that you get. So even if that ship didn't blow up, it's not like Maya would have lived forever. I mean, I don't know how long she would have had because the guy that was dead for like hours had like what was it, 30 seconds or something like that, or 15 seconds,
Yeah, I don't know.
or whatever.
It's really
it was
short.
It was a short amount of time, and she had just died, so maybe she would have had like a couple minutes or something. But excuse me, but you know, just the
fact that he got his
Yeah.
wish of like I just want to hold her.
well, everything, yeah, everything came back to
yeah, came full circle.
came full circle and they tied it up well, right? So the way that they ended it was good and I enjoyed that aspect. But just like I said, it was the formulaic things that got to the end result that I just didn't particularly care for. The end result itself was great. I enjoyed it, and that's why I'm still giving this movie like a 7 and I still enjoyed it. And I would also be open to more of this, right? Like some kind of game or spin-off or something I think would be cool. And it's also reminds me of another movie that I really, really enjoyed when it came out. And I wish would have had more done with it, like a game or something. I don't know if you guys ever watched the 2009 movie District 9.
Yep.
I loved that movie when
Yeah,
it
this
came
is
out.
identical to
District
that
9
movie.
was awesome.
It's so similar to District 9 and a lot of the same themes, even like the one shot of them like crushing all the robots and like they're like somewhat alive or whatever. Like that was like I felt like that was straight up ripped out of District 9. Like I feel like there's a scene in District 9 of like the exact same thing, but in District 9 it's all aliens. Aliens come to Earth looking for refuge. And then aliens and humans have to figure out how to coexist. And I really, really enjoyed that movie, and I wish they would have done more with that movie. So I'm hoping that this movie gets more done with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to say the sound design as well was
oh yeah,
It's
sound design was
incredible.
impeccable.
The music is so good.
yeah, Hans Zimmer,
Legendary.
love you, buddy. You
Yeah.
fucking
I mean, it's Hans Zimmer. He's
yeah, you are
legend of
the
the game,
fucking epitome of class orchestral.
Epic.
I don't even fucking.
Epic
You're just the
movie.
epitome composer of this age. It's.
yeah, I would say like
I know you say John Williams, but
yeah.
Hans Zimmer.
I'd say of this like
I've
now Hans Zimmerman is the man.
I've
In the 90s and 80s,
Hans
and
Zimmerman,
like
you've
early
never
2000s,
let me down, dude. Just
John Williams is the man.
yeah.
But
Look, John Williams, Hans Zimmer, Danny Elfman, right?
yeah, they're the Mount Rushmore of
Yeah,
composers.
you fucking knocked it out of the park. Everybody who did the sound design for the movie, amazing. Everything sounded so fucking good. I mean, even when like I said, I could feel the fucking explosions, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, that
I
guy's
think
dead.
it would have been really cool to watch this movie at 40x.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
for
I
sure.
think 40x would have been really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to do that too, but I just when we were figuring out a thing to watch, this was the best
Yeah.
time that we could do it
Yeah,
was for
yeah.
Screen X. But I'm never opposed to Screen X either. It was really cool with this movie because it was so visually and audibly like
Impressive.
incredible.
Yeah,
It just made it super
yeah. Especially
enjoyable.
when it like started widening out.
Yeah,
Oh
I mean,
my
right
God,
off the
dude.
rip, this movie has like a super amazing shot of like this like sunset like ocean view on
Yeah.
the beach, and you get this like sci-fi Navy SEAL entrance for the fucking special
Right.
forces.
Yeah, and then the fucking nomad comes in from the top and
You just see the lights
right
just
over
like-
them, just covering their entire. Which I'm like, how do you not see that from like like
Anywhere.
How does like,
How does it sneak
how do
up
they
on
not
you?
Yeah,
know?
how did a nomad sneak up
Yeah.
on you? Yeah.
Because I feel like the point of it is like, yes, see your death.
Yeah, you
can't
look up in
avoid
the
it.
sky
You
and there's
can't do
a
anything
giant
about
blue
it.
laser just fucking like, you know what I mean? You can see that shit coming down. So
No, I
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Impending doom.
What are some of the other scenes where the Screen X was part of? Like,
any
Pretty
like
much any action
yeah,
scene.
any battle scene with like the final or not the final battle scene, the kind of the final battle scene, but when the giant tanks come in, that shit, when it starts like going out
Yeah.
like that, and the tank comes in and it's like fucking gigantic, and they're all shooting each other, and then I thought it was so fucking hilarious when
the monkey. The monkey.
no
Oh,
the monkey was
That was funny too.
that was funny, but I thought I actually laughed. I was laughing out loud when they were like in the or in the tank, and then the lady was like, "Send out the drones or whatever." And the guy
Oh.
turns to the thing and you're like, "Knocks him on the."
It
He's
was
like,
an honor to
"Get out!"
serve with you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been an honor to serve you, ma'am.
do.
And he like starts running straight to him, and he's like he's literally just a bomb with legs,
and
he's
arms.
just running towards the fucking. I was like, "There's no way they made a fucking robot that's just a bomb with legs,
That's
dude."
Oh, come on, that's
That can
That
exactly
can
what would
actually
we do.
talk.
we 1000%
We
would
would
make that.
absolutely
Like,
do
here's
that.
the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody likes to think of this, or like nobody wants to believe that we as a species
Yeah,
are
it's fucked
capable
up.
of this.
Yeah.
But everything that happened in this movie, we 1000% would do
Would
in
do.
real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In real life, if AI tried
And
to
we'd
take over
we
the
would give them a
world,
conscience too and be like, get going, soldier.
like in real life, if AI tried to take over the world and delete us, we 1000% would do everything in here. Like war crimes are not a thing if it's
Well,
against
it's the
AI.
robots, so
So we would just murk everybody. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I do. There's two. These are real minor things, but that I just hated in this movie, and I'm talking like real small. It's the fact that the first mission they get sent on with the special forces are a bunch of fucking retards
Yeah.
throughout the entire mission. Like
Yeah.
in the beginning, they're fine. Like when they're in the ship and they're on the way, they're like talking and stuff. It's fine. You're like, okay, cool, I got
That
it. Like they're a
reminded me
squad.
so much of
And then
fucking
as soon as they
Predator and
step on the
Aliens.
ground and they start doing what they're supposed to do, they act like a fucking idiots.
They
And it's
act
like,
like-
I don't believe you.
they
You just
act like
ruined
a,
it.
like a group of people going through basic training,
Yeah.
learning how to walk through a forest in the wedge formation.
For real. And then like the way they die, it's like, dude, that's not believable
Yeah.
that you're saying they're special forces That died because this fucking stupid chick gets shot and then just jumps on the ship. I get it. You don't want to die, but you didn't even check yourself.
Yeah.
You just got your entire fucking squad killed
Yeah.
because they all saw the bomb and they're like, oh, what do we do?
Sorry, but
Here's
you're
what
right
would've
back out the fucking window,
What
dog.
would have actually happened is you would have got your ass kicked out of the
Yeah,
fucking ship
sorry.
and they would have lived and left.
I would have felt bad about it after the fact, but I would have been alive.
But it would have been the right choice.
Yeah.
And then not only that, they fall for that shit twice.
Yes.
Yeah.
That it was like the first time, all right, like it's fine, it's stupid, but it's fine. The second time, no, that's
Also,
not
what
okay.
the hell does that like? What kind of adhesive mechanism does that thing have to be able to not just like grab it and throw it off?
It's probably magnetic or
I don't
something.
know.
Yeah, but when it got shot onto the Colonel chick, whatever her fucking name is, like it just was shot onto her back,
Yeah,
Yeah.
she had like a metal backplate. Or
but
whatever.
barely. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they did become idiots once they hit the ground, but like I was saying earlier, it just reminded me so much of like classic like Predator, Alien, like when they're in the
Oh,
gunship
yeah.
and the lady's like in the thing and she's like the fucking thing with the arms or whatever. She's like, "Please." And I was like, that is fucking aliens. You're like
Yeah.
literally just doing
Yeah.
aliens right there.
God, what does Ripley say? Fuck, what is it? It's like oh fuck, I forget what she says. Her classic line when she's in the yellow
The
crane.
loader.
Oh, against
lower.
the mother
Yeah.
The
alien
queen.
where she's like, you stay away from her or
Yeah.
whatever. Get away from her, you bitch.
Yeah, you
Like,
bitch.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was like, and then the guy's like chewing gum and he like puts his fucking earphones in and the other guys are like smoking and shit and I was like, okay, that's fucking Predator, dude. Like I was like,
Yeah.
that was
It's like
fucking
Aliens
that was
too.
such a clear callback. I was like, that is very cool that they actually took
Yeah, like the
inspiration.
a lot of the atmosphere and everything was just really good.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah, when they actually got on the ground, they were like,
that one
fucking
scene or
idiots.
sequence,
Yeah.
like
There's a couple
they,
of those.
they kind of flopped that, but
yeah. As soon as they get the tanks and the cavalry comes in, it seems like the
That-
cavalry
that-
knew what they were doing.
yeah, that made sense. When it was the U.S. Army and they were just in there fucking shit up, like okay,
yeah. As soon as they got in
against
there, I was
this
like, you
like
guys are fucked.
indigenous population, yeah.
They didn't even use the big gun. The big fucking gun on the top of the
No,
thing.
yeah, they're like, no, we don't even need the main
They
cannon.
just shoot they just shoot the missiles out of the fucking thing.
It's like Avatar, the
Yeah.
giant
Basically,
ship
yeah.
with the missile pods.
Which
yeah.
I
Yeah,
liked
they
it
just
on
use
that,
the
like
missile
it on
pods.
this.
They're like, what do you use that giant Tesla cannon on your fucking...
Like, that's
classified.
That's for planning.
Yeah.
That's for Alderaan, right?
Yeah.
Chill out, dog.
Yeah. That shit was fucking... This movie was...
The design of everything was so cool.
Yeah,
like
so
I
fucking-
loved all the tech, all the people, all the armor, all the clothing,
Yep.
like all the weapons and all stuff. I also really liked the friends of Josh's friends, him and his wife. That was a
Oh, there's a
simulant.
simulant.
I
Yeah.
thought that was actually really sad and
Yeah.
fucked up.
Oh,
That
it
like
was-
when he
Yeah.
went to go, get help and
I was
figure
like,
out
dude,
what to
that's
do with
fucked up.
Alfie, and he's like,
Yeah.
I had an issue with the. Wait, did you get followed here? Like,
yeah.
as if
No,
they're not
bro.
being plastered all over the world,
Yeah.
like wanted.
And if you're as if you're not in an age where AI like can do anything, like
Right. It's like there's no way you didn't know that he was getting followed when he's a high priority target.
he's literally the most wanted fugitive in the world.
Right. But when they get fucking
It was super
destroyed,
sad.
I was like, damn, that's
Yeah.
fucked.
It was super sad. Like I said, this
Because
movie,
even the friend, they develop in the movie. Sorry, he actually was the his fellow agent while he was in, and he hated
alert.
the robots and
Right.
AI and stuff. But because he eventually got away from it, and
we have a monster at the door.
yeah.
Right now.
but then he fell in love with the simulant.
Let him in. Come here, bud.
Hey,
Come on the
Kyle.
podcast, bud. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to the camera. Say hi. Hi.
Aww.
Okay, come here.
You can't even see him.
Come here. Come here. No, it's not showtime. Go ahead, Dan.
But yeah, so he ends up falling in love with the simulant, and then we get to see him in his life afterwards. Now that he's moved on, and it's really sad when they fucking get
Yeah.
just absolutely
Hey,
shredded.
he was crying. Like the dude was bawling with her in his
Yeah.
in his hand.
And then the fact that not only that happens, and then they they go on to the next place, and he's like, he's trying to explain to him like, look, it's probably a dead end. You don't want to do this, and he takes it another step forward,
Yeah.
and he goes out of his way to get out of the fucking truck,
right.
puts on the suit, takes his ass over into the seemingly like dangerous area or whatever, and gets fucking destroyed himself
Yeah.
trying to save his friend.
It's
Yeah.
super sad.
It is super sad. This movie, like I said, had a lot of really surprisingly emotional moments.
It's very successful. That's what I'll say. Because most movies try to draw emotion from you in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
And
In a lot of different movies, but a lot of them fall short. This movie, I'd say 9 out of 10 times that it tries to draw emotion from you, it's successful.
Yeah.
It does a
Yeah.
good
Absolutely.
job.
Yep.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that ability.
Yeah.
I also just want to say, even though I don't really need to, Ken Watanabe, fucking
Oh, yeah.
awesome, bro.
Of course.
Yeah. Ken
I mean,
Watanabe,
anything you do.
amazing.
Dude, you're
So
literally a robot and you're still killing it. Like,
Yeah.
you're just him. dog.
And still
You're
wearing
him.
the samurai
Yep,
gear.
he's a robotic
Oh,
samurai,
so
bro. and
cool,
he's
dude.
still
takes
cool.
takes a fucking shot to the chest and walks it off like a champ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Can't kill Ken Watanabe.
Only he kills himself.
Last thing that I just want to say, like going forward, I don't. It's one of those things that for me, it doesn't necessarily take away from the movie, but it could have made it better. And if they do end up expanding on this universe through games or any other kind of cinema or whatever, I would like to know more about Alfie's abilities.
Yep.
Like, what is it about her? Because visually, she looks the same as any other simulant, right? I mean, obviously, she's the first ever child simulant. Hey, bud, watch. Sit there. Watch. Look at the camera. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. Hi. Visually, she looks just like every other simulant. She's the first ever child simulant. But what is it about her that allows her to be able to control electronics like that? Because no other simulant has that ability.
It seems like
So
it's all internal.
right. And
Yeah.
I would just like to know what is it about her that's special that allows her to be able to do that?
Yeah,
So-
I would agree.
Yeah.
This is actually one of two aspects I think would have been better instead of what we got throughout the middle portion of the movie. Would be further development on Alfie and Nomad itself. Because these two things specifically are so advanced in this movie, and I think they're really, really interesting, but they don't ever go super deep into them. So you're just kind of left seeing like the after effects of both of them.
Yeah. All you
But
know is like
I mean, like you kind of like Nomad,
and that's it.
you kind of see a little bit
Right.
in the end,
the end.
just internally. But when you see it, it's like, damn, there is so much going on in this like
It
aircraft facility thing.
Yeah, it literally looked like
Because
the Justice League fucking like
Right, like it's not
watchtower.
just the weapon. It's got like they have like super advanced science being developed, and like it seemed like even agricultural things being
they had
developed
like
in
a
it.
whole like.
Yeah, they had
It's almost
a
like its own
greenhouse.
Like a
fucking
train station.
city
yeah.
in the sky.
I mean,
what
the
it
thing
seems
was
like
gigantic. It was like in orbit, but you could see like when you looked at it, it was like. It was from orbit coming into the like coming into or like the sky, you know.
What
What I
it
mean?
seemed like was a self-sufficient like ecosystem, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you could just live on there forever because
Yeah, like if you, it was like it was like a super secret
yeah,
base basically that you could potentially be like permanently stationed on.
yeah. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, there were a few things in there that green. You want green? Go ahead, push me. There's a few things in there that I think could have been done better, and I'm gonna stand by my statement that I don't know that John David Washington was the best choice for the lead, but I'm hoping that they do more.
Yeah,
hoping that
that's. I
there's
mean, that's
something
my
else.
biggest thing is, I hope it does well enough that they continue to expand on this because I think they have something really.
I think the general
really good
public's
with it.
reception was pretty positive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really hope they
well
do more.
beyond being positive. I hope it
Yeah.
makes enough to
Money
convince
and-
them, like, hey, we should keep doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, what did you think, ladies and gentlemen? Did you guys enjoy the movie? What were your thoughts on everything that happened? Do you guys think that John David Washington was the right choice? If not, who would you replace him with? I don't have an answer to that question.
I wouldn't either if I had to think about it.
But who would
Hugh
you
Jackman.
guys replace him with? What did you say?
Hugh
I
Jackman.
thought you said Jackie Chan. I was like, what? But yeah, I mean, like I said, overall, still a really good movie. It's definitely something
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Ooh.
Hugh Jackman with the accent from District 9.
yes. It's definitely something that I think I would watch again, though, for sure. Like, so, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us on this episode. Really appreciate you. Thank you for being here, Connor. Ladies and gentlemen, please like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Check out our social media as well as the other shows here on the channel. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Say
Bye,
bye-bye.
guys.
Say bye-bye.
Kisses.
Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.